My next guest has been on the forefront of finally getting into the menopause conversation and getting it out there. But being a groundbreaker is nothing new for supermodel Beverly Johnson. She became known as the face that changed it all as the first Black woman on the cover of American Vogue. And over her iconic 5-decade-long career, Beverly has had countless firsts and covers to follow. Well, a week and a half ago at the United Nations, Beverly Johnson was presented with a Pioneer Lifetime Achievement Award for advocating for women in entrepreneurship. And today, Beverly is here to empower the Tam fam, sharing what she revealed to People magazine was her, quote, life-changing and life-threatening thrust into menopause and the myths about this change in life that she wants to bust down the barriers of. Please welcome to the Tam fam again, the legendary one and only Beverly Johnson! Hello. Queen. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Have a seat, have a seat. Oh, so good to have. Listen, if this is 70, how do I speed up the clock? How's this possible?
Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
Where do they sell this water? I need a couple of glasses of it.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank you so much for being here again.
Yes.
I love how open you've been about menopause, especially as it relates to how women will feel undesirable or less sexy and how it affects the libido. I know you're engaged to Brian, your fiance. Nice guy, love this guy. But your journey started at 47.
Yes.
You had uterine fibroids.
Yes.
And then you had to have a hysterectomy.
Yes.
Much like Amanda.
Yes.
And then this started the cycle for you.
Yes, it was a total surprise. And also, I want to thank you so much for having this show, for having this conversation, this much-needed conversation. Because no one talks about this.
And I didn't know the aspect until Amanda and you with the hysterectomy and how a light switch changes.
And exactly, but what happens is when you realize that you're going to get a hysterectomy, I didn't even tell anyone I was going in for it. Yeah. And actually, my doctor at the time never said that you get full-blown menopause after it. So I was just like, it was like hit by lightning after. And it's so interesting. I remember my mother having menopause, but we thought, oh, what happened to her? You know, my mother's a very sophisticated lady, and she cursed, and we were like,
like, who are you?
And now we realized she was going through menopause. So it really changes your personality, not only the way you feel, but also your personality. You become really kind of, well, in my case, really grumpy.
So you felt the grumpiness and angry?
Yes, I did.
And how did you see it manifest?
Well, it was very interesting because I get this hysterectomy, which was life-threatening because I didn't tell anyone. It's a major operation. Yeah. Tell everybody you know. You need support. You need a woman there or a man with you to advocate for you. Right. Because it's a major operation.
Yeah, because like menopause, a lot of times, and Dr. we talk about that, a lot of women think even saying you're having a hysterectomy was a no-no. People would go in and come back.
Exactly, exactly. And like really hush-hush. But it's a major operation. And I didn't realize that. I just thought, oh, I'm not going to have my period anymore. Honey, you know. And I thought it was a time, oh, I was going to have so much fun.
Right, you're like, I'm out, I'm good.
I'm like, oh, no.
Good.
And then I wake up and I'm like, my bed is soaking wet. I'm like, what happened? Did I go to the bathroom by myself? I mean, it's like, and I realized, I went to the doctor, he says, oh, it's menopause. Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Menopause? I said, no, you pause. And you didn't tell me this is what happens? He said, you didn't know this is what happens? No, we didn't have health when I was growing up as part, you know, women's health. That wasn't in the school system.
So this is all news to you. What is the first thing you started to worry about when that news came in, that you were in menopause?
I thought, well, what do you do about it? He says, well, there's a number of things you can do about it. You really can't do anything. I'm like, oh, no. So then they talked about hormones. And going to get hormones, and I was listening to all of these wonderful guests that you have, it's like a cocktail.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of this, and you need a little bit of that. And it took years to get some kind of balance about hormones. And then you have the hormone scare with estrogen and cancer.
Which we're going to have Dr. Malone talk about, too, because we're bringing some of those things up at the end of the show. I know, as I said, you're engaged, Brian Mylan, amazing guy.
Yes.
You've been dating, you're out there, and so many people associate, clearly, you with your youthfulness, your beauty, your vibrancy. How did that affect your romantic life?
Well, it affected every part of my life. I was no longer the woman that I was before I went in for this operation. Just like everyone says, the weight gain, you know, you actually see changes in the way you look.
Yeah.
And, but more so in the way you feel.
You feel.
The way you feel. You're just not yourself, and you can't put your finger on it. And it's really...
How long did it take you to start to... It took you years to find your balance again.
Years to get that little cocktail right, and years to study about what I had in menopause and what you could do about it.
So you did your research, you did your work.
Yes.
You're as vibrant, as amazing as ever.
Yes.
I mean, you've even created the Beverly Johnson rule where you're challenging companies now to interview at least two interviewees of color, Black, when they're going out in this fashion industry.
Yes.
So you're still busy, you're still booked and busy. For those of women who are right now are doing the cocktail mixing and they're trying to find, what is the light at the end of the tunnel? I mean, what is the hope that you can offer from your perspective now compared to those really dark days?
I think the light at the end of the tunnel is you're not alone.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not alone. And also that it does, you do get back to normal.
You do.
I think you get back to better than normal.
Oh, wow.
You know, but for me, it was a number of years before I got back to really feeling myself, knowing that I had to, you know, watch the calories a little differently, knowing that I had to do all those kind of exercises for that part of your body that you didn't have to do before, because you totally changed.
You totally changed. But you recognize the change,
right.
but there is a point where, as you said, and kind of like what Michelle Obama's call it, the blessing, that you live long enough to get to this point,
exactly.
and that it will get better.
Exactly. And it is a rites of passage.
Yeah.
You know, that you've made it that long.
Yeah.
And so I understand women much more. And I remember being so ignorant about it because women would break out in this sweat and I'd go, "Are you okay? Do you want to sit down?" She's going, "No, girl, I'm okay." I'm saying, "You sure?" "Girl, I'm okay."
Listen.
You'll know about it soon enough.
Well, we all know about it, and I thank you so much for talking so candidly. You're always amazing. The Beverly Johnson!